Hit on the nail with this one because Kay's been asking for this fight for over a year now. So I thought, we offered the Kay Prosper fight. I thought, Sam, that'd be a good fight. A good fight for this stage of my career. And, obviously it's not on now, so it was a bit guttering. I like Sam, I like the old school fighters. I get in there, get my job done, move on to the next. And for me, for my career, I want to be pushing towards the British title at the end of the year. So depending on whoever's got the belt, that's where I'm going to be pushing.
Right, I always like to take notes from the presser. Yeah, actually, there is something. Anyway, October Red Boxing here with the lovely Dalton Smith. Let's just make sure got your pretty face right in view. There he is. Yeah, so we're moving into, gosh, where are we? Super lightweight, and we're 9-0 at the moment. You're a very skillful fighter, timed fighter, and a really heavy puncher. I didn't realise you were supposed to fight Kay Prosper. Talk to us a little bit about that and what happened with that fall through.
Up until last night, that was on paper. That was a fight, scheduled for the 26th, and it was a good fight. Kay's a good fighter, and it was a fight I was looking forward to, and I know so was Eddie and Matchroom and my team. So I was a bit gutted last night when I found out that news, but that's boxing. Some go ahead, some don't. So we'll look for a new opponent now on the 26th.
And how long do you think it's going to take them to do that? Because no doubt, as a fighter, you're a good boxer anyway. So I know that you can go in there and deal with what's put in front of you. But you would have prepared for Kay. So then moving forward now, it's possible short notice, studying another opponent. I mean, how do you intend to tackle that?
I mean, we've got 8 weeks, roughly around 8 weeks until the fight. So we've got time on the side to get another opponent now, and you just got to look at my weight. I've got probably one of the most stacked weights in the country domestically, so I'm never going to be short of fights. There's always someone there who's wanting to prove a point and and take my limelight. So that's why you've always got to have your guard up. There's always someone behind the scenes who's wanting to come through. So I just leave that to my team now and let them sort the headache part.
And when you say it's stacked, but like you said, you can get people that fights are scheduled and then they don't happen. Do you think there's going to be many fighters that are going to be saying, oh yeah, I want to go in there with Dalton Smith because I've seen what he's done to other opponents? Do you have that problem where people be like, I think I've come down with COVID or whatever excuse it could be this week?
Well, to be honest, I thought this was, I thought it was hit on the nail with this one because Kay's been asking for this fight for over a year now. So I thought, we offered the Kay Prosper fight. I thought, Sam, that'd be a good fight. A good fight for this stage of my career, and obviously it's not on now, so it was a bit guttering.
And how do you deal with that frustration? Like I said, people pulling out at the last minute. I get it, it's boxing, it happens, but you as a fighter, preparing for that person mentally and physically, the training, the camp, being in the gym, how do you deal with that to say, I've got to go back to the drawing board to think about another opponent?
I think it's something you've got to take as a fighter. Some go ahead, some don't, and you're going to have your pull-outs. Things aren't going to go your own way all the time. So it's about keeping switched on, staying focused, and like anything can change, anything can happen within the last minute. You see Eddie was talking, the way Josh Warrington's career has been the last 2 years. It has its ups, its downs. Not everything goes smoothly. So you just got to keep a good head on your shoulders, and you just got to know it'll always work out.
Yeah, 100%. Dalton, I've got to ask you to try and stand in the middle. You keep on shifting. It's like everyone does it, they're like this, and I'm trying to move the camera around. Who in the division then, like you said, it's stacked. Is there anyone in the division that you're looking at and think, you know what, I wouldn't mind that person? Or one or two?
I'm one of them. I'm not there to be calling names out or thinking, I want that fight. Whoever's put in front of me, I'll get in there, get the fight done. Whoever's next, so on. I'm one of these, I like Sam, I like the old school fighters. I get in there, get my job done, move on to the next. And for me, for my career, I want to be pushing towards the British title at the end of the year. So depending on whoever's got the belt, that's where I'm going to be pushing.
And you talk about getting experience. You're happy to go the rounds. You're not one of these fighters that necessarily wants to get in there and get them out of there straight away. I get mixed sort of I don't know, feedback from fighters? Some of them say, I want to go in there and get the stoppage early because, you know, I want my career to be longer. But then you get some fighters that say, well, actually, no, I want the rounds. What is it that makes a fighter says, I want those rounds, other than obviously the experience?
Depends on how your career's been going on. You know, I started my career and I think up until the Lee Appleyard fight, I'd gone 5 rounds. You know, that's the most I'd gone, and then I did 6 rounds with Appleyard, and then, you know, I sat back with my dad and my team and it was like, look, we've only done 6 rounds now. We're pushing towards these titles. We need to get the rounds under his belt. So that's why my last fight out in Austria, you know, it was a 10-rounder. I had a good 10 rounds under my belt, and you know, that'll benefit me more than probably any of the other fights I've had.
And your style, because you're very, very powerful for your weight, and I'd say you're quite accurate. Your timing is really good, and you're able to give your fighters, your opponents, some really nice injuries. Talk to me a little bit about that style and how you sit in your shots and where your styles come from, because I really like to hear about fighters' styles, and you are very accurate, even down to your ring generalship. It's beautiful the way you cut off the ring. I know I'm jumping up and down behind the camera. It's just how I am with boxing.
I feel like I've got one of those styles where I can mix it. You know, if I need to fight inside, I can. But you know, my style's a mid-range counter puncher. You know, I'm very good at judging the distance, the timing, and I think that's why I'm usually slow start of 1-2 rounds, because I'm getting the distance, I'm judging your style, I'm judging your twitch fibers, the way you're going to jump in. So after I've got a couple of rounds under my belt and I've got your distance, you know, that's when I take over them.
So a fighter that not just will study their opponent, a fighter that will fight off instinct, read their opponent properly. Talk to me about that IQ, that boxing IQ where you can go in, so it doesn't matter. Somebody's dropped out, somebody else has come in. It's not going to be really a problem because you're going to be sussing them out in the first couple of rounds anyway.
Of course, and I've been in the ring with possibly every style that's out there. You know, going back through my amateur background, but I always sit and I study my opponents, but I'll only watch 1-2 rounds of them, because I know when they get in the ring with me, they're not going to throw the same shots that they have against the previous opponents. That it's going to be a completely different fight. So as long as I've got a rough idea, you know, where they like to work, where they don't like to work, the faults, you know, I leave that down to my dad. You know, and then we put that down into the work in the gym. Then after a couple of rounds, you know what they're trying to do. You know, they know what you're trying to do. So after a couple of rounds, that's where you work it out.
I like that. So for the fighter fans that are coming to watch, the boxing fans that are coming to watch on the 26th of March, what can we expect from Dalton Smith this time round?
It's another great performance, you know, bringing something new to the table yet again, and showing more of my class, more of what I've got in my armoury, more of what I've been working on in the gym, and it's exciting.
As you are an exciting fighter, October Red Boxing here with the lovely Dalton Smith. We wish you all the best. Hopefully I'll be there to watch it live. And until the next time, thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.